I saw a garden rose turn its face towards the sun. And then it looked at me and said, what we behold, we will become. We are not the sum of all our parts. We are future, present, past. We are absence, and we are presence, made of ancestors and remnants, made of scar tissues and stars dead and buried in the heavens. We are more than what we are. And I saw this self-portrait done by Rembrandt, his face marked by poverty and repentance. I lingered a little longer, and then I saw my own reflection. I remembered that we are tethered in our weakness, dependent like flowers upon the sun, a beauty that's not our own. Every inhale and exhalation is us stretching towards the light. And now we're just taking Mona Lisa selfies. So many filters, but the eyes are still empty. Composed of anxiety and brushstrokes of envy, desperate to be the next best anything. In denial of the heavenly, surviving on an appetite of pret-a-manger and jealousy. I met this monk dressed in robes. He said, I'm old and death is readying. Still he stood composed, and he said, son, when addressing me. He had a beard like Aaron, so I asked him for the recipe. He smiled with affection, and then with a voice more breath than anything said, son, it has been years since I've seen my reflection. So any compliment from my presentation has less to do with intention and more desperation to be free from self-obsession. He said, son, you are free when you forget yourself. And that's the worst way to neglect yourself, meaning self-care begins with comfort, but it ends with the rejection of any pseudo sense of inner health. He said, son, this is why we live in hell. We have given glory to the shadows on a wall instead of the light source in which the glory dwells. And humanity knows this story well. Hundreds of years before Christ said, I am the light, Plato wrote The Cave about a society that enslaves itself. I hear the art critics question if the Mona Lisa is smiling in her expression, and I won't pretend I know the answer, but I'll give you my reflection. I think she knows the great artists hide themselves in their creations, so she laments a generation that lost its sense of the transcendent. We are kings and queens, living like orphans in the wasteland of our shame, simply because we have forgotten our own name. But that old monk, like the prophet Rafiki, he told me to look into the water and then look a little harder. He said, at first you'll see yourself, but then you'll see Mufasa. At first you'll see your beauty or perhaps the scars that have marked you, but if you stay a little longer, then you will see your father. And when you see the eyes of God looking back through your own gaze, you might get so caught up in reverence that you forget your own face. I saw a garden rose turn its face towards the sun, and it looked at me and said, what we behold, we will become. Thank you.